Oscar, hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Good, good. And where are you? Oops. All right. And hello, Ali.
Wow, what's that?
Hello, Danny. Ooh, loud.
What was it?
uh, how are you today, Ali?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. It's been a good Saturday so far.
What did you do today?
A lot of laundry,
Wow.
cleaning. Yes, it's been a quiet Saturday, but good. I needed to catch up on laundry and cleaning and some lesson planning. So, not exciting, but good.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
Uh, Actually, I am a little bit tired. I worked until noon today, and in the afternoon I had some exams. Uh, uh, I joined the exams and I came back home. I ate my dinner. Then your class started.
So it sounds like a productive Saturday for you as well.
Yeah.
Good, good. Wonderful. Glad you're here. And Danny, hello.
Hello,
How are you today?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. And are you new to my classes?
Yes,
I thought so. So where are you from?
I'm from Israel.
Israel. Cool, cool.
Yeah,
Welcome. Glad to have you.
thank you.
Good. And Victor, hello.
Hi Stephanie, how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Good, good, good. Um, Excellent. So we should have a full class tonight. And if you were in last Saturday, I tried to do similar lessons and they went very badly. The Verbling app didn't open, and then I got kicked out of the chat over and over, or out of the Hangout. But today should be much better. I'm at home, where the internet is probably better, so I'm glad to be here and not have to worry about technical problems. And let's see, Oscar, are you new in my class?
Yes, this is my first class with you.
Okay, I thought so. So where are you from?
I'm from Nicaragua in Central America.
Oh, very cool, Nicaragua. So it's morning there where you are.
Yeah, it's morning.
Nice, nice. Cool. And Ra, hello.
Hello. Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are
I'm
you?
fine, thank you. My name is
Good.
actually Rashid. Rashid, sorry.
Rashid. Okay, Rashid. All right, wonderful. Where are you from, Rashid?
I'm from the Netherlands.
From the Netherlands. Cool.
Yeah.
Welcome to class. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to meet you too.
Good. Excellent. We should have just a few more joining us, but we won't wait too long. I'm going to share, before we get to the worksheets, we'll do a quick review of the grammar. So I'm going to share the web page where we'll review the grammar. It's called englishpage.com. I find it's very useful when it comes to the grammar tenses in English. It has good diagrams to show kind of how the tenses work in time, and also describes the uses. It's a website I use very frequently when I need to remind myself of the tenses. So that is in the Verbling chat. We'll start there in just a moment. We will maybe wait just one more minute for a few more people to join us. And this will be a two-part lesson, just because there are so many exercises in the worksheet. There's no way to go through them all in just 1 hour, so this is a two-part. If you can only make one part, that's fine, but if you want extra practice, you can continue at 7 o'clock in the same lesson. So. And Sergio, hello. I'm laughing at the Verbling chat. It looks like we're having a rhyming game. It's very funny. Test, fest, just, best, west. Funny. Here's one you made. Lest. There's a rare one you will only find in probably old literature. It means unless. That's not a good description. Lest means like, it's almost like beware. Anyhow. All right, so welcome everyone. This is Grammar Practice Worksheets Past Perfect. So we will start with a review of the grammar itself, and then we'll go to the practice worksheets. And the aim of this class is for all of you to be able to practice the past perfect many, many times. So that's why we're here. We will start on EnglishPage.com. I do post usually in the Verbling chat because Verbling has directed us teachers to use the Verbling chat, but I'll post in the Google as well the link to EnglishPage.com. And so we'll start there, and we'll start right now. I'll share on my screen, but you are welcome, of course, to open on your own window if that works better for you. As I said, this website is very useful for reviewing the grammar tenses. They go over the form and the uses, and they have helpful kind of charts or diagrams to explain the tenses. So, to begin, our grammar today is the past perfect. And it is formed by using the auxiliary verb have conjugated in the past tense, had, which is the same for all people, or all subjects. So had, and then the past participle of the verb. So here is an example. You had studied English before you moved to New York. Here's a question form. Had you studied English before you moved to New York? And then the negative, you had not studied English before you moved to New York. We'll go over the uses quickly. Please do feel free to interrupt at any time with questions about anything. So the first use of the past perfect is to talk about a completed action before something in the past. So you have an event in the past, an event or an action in the past, that's the X, and we use the past perfect to talk about something before that, something that has been completed before the action or event. So that's represented with the blue dot and the yellow circle. So the past perfect expresses the idea that something occurred before another action in the past. It can also show that something happened before a specific time in the past. So just a couple examples. I had never seen such a beautiful beach before I went to Kauai. So I went to Kauai is the action or event in the past. That would be the blue X. And then the past perfect is what was before the X. I had never seen such a beautiful beach. Then the second main use of the past perfect is to talk about a duration before something in the past. And this is with non-continuous verbs. We won't go into that too much tonight, but again, the X represents something in the past, an event or action in the past simple. And then the green is the past perfect, something that was ongoing or lasted a duration before the past event. So for example, we had had that car for 10 years before it broke down. It broke down is the past event, the blue X, and we had had it for 10 years is the duration. So the ownership of the car for 10 years. With specific times with the past perfect, with the present perfect, we do not use specific time words or phrases, but with the past perfect, we can use specific time words or phrases because the action is completed. It's possible, but it is not necessary. So an example of that is, she had visited her Japanese relatives once in 1993 before she moved in with them in 1996. So here's a very specific time phrase, and the past perfect is used alongside the time phrase. And then here's the simple past that the first blue X represents. We'll continue. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but if there is a question or any confusion, please let me know and we can spend more time on it. So if the past perfect is not referring to an action at a specific time, then the past perfect is not optional. You must use the past perfect if there's if you're not talking about an action at a specific time. So if it's a general time in the past before another time, you will use the past perfect. She had never seen a bear before she moved to Alaska. So here we have our simple past. That's the blue X. We use the past perfect to talk about an unspecific duration of time in the past. This is incorrect, though I would like to add that you will often hear this from native speakers. She never saw a bear before she moved to Alaska. It's not technically grammatically correct, but many native speakers will say this. So you will hear it, and if you say it, you'll be perfectly well understood. All right, so we won't talk about adverb placement, though you may notice it. It goes between the auxiliary verb and the main verb or the past participle. So that's kind of our brief overview on the structure and the uses. Are there any questions before we go to the practice? All right. Okay. And I'll say hello to Daniel and Leonel. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fine,
Good.
thank you.
Good. All right. So I'm going to share the link to the worksheets in the Verbling chat. Hopefully you were able to access them through the class description, but if not, there they are in the Verbling chat. I'll paste them in the Google chat as well, just in case. And we will start them. We will not have time to finish them in this hour, but at 7 o'clock my time, we will continue. So this is part 1 of 2 for the grammar worksheets. All right, so here we are. And I am just going to ask that when you are not speaking, if you can keep your mic muted. There is a little bit of feedback, so please mute your mic while you are not speaking, and we will all have a better sound experience. Thank you. All right, so past perfect tense. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. There we go. So our first exercise is to choose the correct verb from the list below to complete the following sentences. Put the verb in the past perfect tense, which again is had plus the past participle. Unfortunately, we don't have a review of the past participle, but I will, of course, help you out along the way. So I will do the first one just as an example. And then from after that, I will call on you to take turns to answer each question. So number 1, when I got to the house, Mary wasn't there. She had already gone. So the first blank is the auxiliary verb had, and then the past participle of go is gone. So when I got to the house, Mary wasn't there. She had already gone.
Teacher, and why is not leave?
I actually was about to say that it might actually be leave or left. The past participle of leave is left. She had already left. Both would be correct. In fact, I think leave might be more correct or more typical. So maybe I should say when I got to the house, Mary wasn't there. She had already left. Great question. All right. So with that, let's go on. Number 2, I'm just going to go to the left of my window. So Victor, will you take number 2, please?
Okay. I didn't recognize my old classmate because she had changed so much.
Very nice, very nice. Had changed. Good job. Rashid, you're next. Number 3.
We were late for the show last night. By the time we got to the theater, the movie had already started.
Perfect. Yep, exactly right. Good. Number 4, Oscar.
Yes. Yesterday, I went on my first plane trip. I was very nervous because I had never fly before.
Good, good. And fly is irregular, so the past participle is flown. Flown. Yeah, it's just an irregular one, but nice job. Good. So I had never flown before. Good. Oscar, number 5.
Okay, I couldn't eat much dinner last night because mm, I had eaten.
Yes.
I eaten so much.
Yes, very good. Yep. Had eaten. Very good. You could also say had, but that's not an option with these verbs. So very good. Number 6, Leonel.
Yes, I couldn't buy any groceries last night because when I got to the supermarket, it had already closed.
Yep, exactly right. Had closed. Great. And 7, Daniel.
Uh, 7. Last week our teacher gave back the essays. Essays or essays?
Essays.
Essays. We had started the week before.
Good. Good. Perfect construction. But I think we would use write.
Written.
Written.
Yeah, written.
Yes.
The only reason start doesn't work there is because the teacher would not give them back if they weren't finished.
Okay.
And when we say had started, there is the idea that we haven't finished.
Okay.
Great, very good. And Ali, number 8.
Okay. The house was quiet when Andrew got home. Everyone had gone to bed several hours early.
Yeah, there's our go verb. Very good. Had gone. Excellent. And number 9, going back to Victor, your turn.
They got to school late yesterday. The bell had already rung.
Exactly. Excellent. And 10, Rashid.
Sheila couldn't come to my house last night because she had already planned, I think, made
Yes, very good.
other plans.
Yep, very good. Yep, she had made other plans. Great. Number 11, Oscar.
Yes, we couldn't find the house. It was clear that he had gave us the wrong address.
Good. That's the correct verb. And it's in irregular in the past participle form. Well, it's irregular everywhere. So give, gave. Does anyone know the past participle form?
Given.
Given. Yep, very good. So it adds an extra syllable. Had given. Very nice. And number 12, Leonel.
Yes. 11 or 12?
12.
Annie didn't want to come to the movie with us because she had seen it the week before.
Very good. Perfect. Yep, she had seen it the week before. Great. And 13, Daniel.
Yes. The police. Oh no. 13. By the time the police arrived at the bank, the robber had already. Lived or escaped.
Yes, very good. Very good. Leave would work, but since we have the option for escape and it's a robber, we would say escaped.
Escaped.
Yes. Very nice. Very nice. And the last one for this exercise, number 14, Ali.
Okay. I couldn't get into my apartment when I came home from work last night because I had forgotten to take my key.
Very nice, very nice. Great. So it sounds pretty easy for everyone. And the next one is going to focus on the past perfect tense with by the time and already. You may have noticed some of the other examples, a lot of the other examples used already. And already will come, almost always it will come between the auxiliary and the past participle. So our task here is to make sentences with the past perfect and the words provided, following the example below. So here's the sentence, here are the provided words, and here is the example of what you are supposed to say. By the time I got to the airport, the plane had already taken off. And I will just do number 1 to give another example. By the time I got to the theater, the movie had already started. Yeah, so this is the event that comes after, and these are the things that happened before. You are supposed to use by the time and past perfect with already to explain what happened before this event. So by the time I got to the theater, the movie had already started. So with that, number 2, and we are back to Victor. Your turn.
By the time I got to the drugstore, it had already closed.
Perfect, perfect, very good. And so you couldn't get your prescription. Very nice. Rashid, number 3.
I couldn't say goodbye to my friends. By the time I called their houses, they can you move a little bit so
Yes.
I can see the example?
Oh yes. Sorry. There.
By the time I called their houses, they had already left.
Yeah, good. And this is another irregular past participle,
left.
so left. Yep, great, good, very nice. And Oscar, number 4.
Okay. By the time I got applied, and they had hired someone else already.
Yep, very good. And yep, you could put already at the end like you did. That's correct. You can also put it in between. Both are very common in English.
Okay.
I do just want to say this is a strange example because you're adding the verb in. If the verb is already there, use the verb in the simple past. So, yep, so by the time I applied, they had hired someone else already.
Okay.
Great, very nice. Number 5 is, oh, Nasma, hello, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm okay.
Good.
Thanks.
Good. So it is your turn. With the past perfect, we have an event in the past, and then we use the past perfect to talk about things before that. So are you ready to do this one for us, number 5? Or would you like
what I have to do?
So you have to say, we're using the phrases by the time and then the simple past for the first words, and then the
Okay.
past perfect for the second words.
Okay.
All right.
By the time we couldn't buy the house, we had seen someone else make an offer.
Good. Good. This is kind of a confusing exercise because it's giving us an event in the past, and this part isn't the focus. This is just an event in the past to give us a reference, and then the words in the parentheses are the ones we need to conjugate. So this one would be, let's see, so we couldn't buy the house. We saw someone else had already made an offer. Kind of a confusing structure on this exercise, but nice job with it. Thank you for joining us and being willing to jump right in. And that brings us back to Leonel. Your turn with number 6.
Okay. By the time the firemen arrived, the house had already burned down.
Great, perfect, yep. And so the house was destroyed. Great. Number 7, Daniel.
Yes. I didn't get to taste her chocolate cake. By the time I arrived, her children hadn't already had eaten the whole thing.
Great, excellent, great. Nice work. And again, with that, the adverb already, it's really flexible. In our example, it wants us to put it between the auxiliary and the past participle, but in everyday spoken English, it could go before, it could go at the very end. The only place it can't go is way before the verb. So nice, yeah. So you could say already had eaten the whole thing. Great.
Yes, but I had to think a lot to do it.
This is a tough exercise. It's kind of a confusing one, so it's good for the brain and good for the practice. So very nice work on that. And on to number 8, Ali, your turn.
Okay, I didn't see her when she was sick. By the time I went to hospital, she had already gone.
Great, great. She had already gone home. Excellent. And number 9, Victor.
I didn't see the game. By the time I turned on the TV, the game had already finished.
Perfect, very good. And the last one for this exercise, number 10, goes to Rashid.
I missed my daughter's performance. By the time I arrived to the concert, my daughter had already finished her song.
Perfect, very good, very good. Great, so that was using past perfect with by the time and already. Very common structure. The next page is going to focus on the negative. With the negative in any of the perfect tenses, the negative goes between the past participle and the auxiliary. So here we have our auxiliary. then we have the negative, and then we have the past participle. So you will get a partial sentence like this again. My house was very dirty when she came over because I hadn't cleaned for weeks. You could say cleaned or cleaned it. And again, you'll have the choice. In spoken English, we often use the contraction, hadn't. But in formal written English, especially academic written English, you'll see had not. So both are correct. You can choose whether you want to use the contraction hadn't or whether you want to say had not. That's up to you. So let's go right into it. Number 1 goes to Oscar.
Okay. John had to study hard for yesterday's test because he had not do well the week before.
Yep, and then the past participle for do is done. So go one more time and say done.
Done.
So had not done well the week before.
Okay.
Good. All right, very nice. Number 2 goes to Nasma. Your turn.
I was worried when she didn't arrive on time because she had not been late before.
Perfect. Very nice. Number 3, Leonel.
Judy didn't want to go on the school ski trip because she hadn't skied before.
Perfect. Yep. So she never in her life has she skied, and she didn't want to go on the trip because of it. Great. And number 4, Daniel. Daniel?
I was mute.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Yes. I didn't recognize Helen at the party because I hadn't seen her for years.
Very nice. Perfect. Yep. Great. And number 5, Ali.
Okay. John didn't catch the bus because he hadn't left the house on time.
Perfect. Very good. And number 6, we're back to the beginning with Victor.
Andy ate a huge supper last night because he hadn't eaten all day.
Yep, great. Perfect. Number 7 goes to Rashid.
The farmer's fields were very dry because it hadn't rained for weeks.
Perfect. And Oscar, number 8.
Okay. Roberta's hair looked terrible last night because she had not combed it all day.
Perfect. Very good. Great. And number 9, Nasma.
Amanda was exhausted yesterday because she hadn't slept well for several days.
Very good. Leonel, number 10.
I was so happy when I got to the theater because the movie hadn't started yet.
Very nice. Good. Finally made it to the movie on time. Really good job with the negative in the perfect tenses, whether it's present perfect, future perfect, past perfect continuous. The negative always goes in the same place. So that's kind of nice. All right. Our next exercise focuses on using the past perfect with already and yet. So these are two extremely common time adverbs, and we'll be using them both in the affirmative or positive and the negative. So we are going to be talking about Rita's schedule. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. Rita's boyfriend Tom came for dinner at 5. And so we'll be talking about Rita's schedule before Tom came for dinner. So some will be positive, some will be negative. We'll talk about what Rita had already done and what she hadn't done yet. So you'll see that some things are after 5. Those are things she hadn't done yet. But all the things before 5 are things she had already done. So for example, when Tom arrived, Rita had already cleaned the house. So number 1, we'll use the first one. Number 2, we'll use the second. Number 3, we'll use the third, and so on. So with the first one, it is Daniel's turn. Will you do our first sentence, please? Daniel, I think you're muted again.
Yeah, yes, because there are a lot of street noises.
Yes.
So I mute my microphone.
We appreciate it.
Yes. Well, the more difficult is to begin. The most
yes, it is. So you're on the spot, but.
Well, but how can I begin? Why don't you begin first and then I do the second?
That sounds great. Good idea. So we will always start with this phrase. So we will, for the ones before 5 o'clock, we will use these exact words, and then we'll kind of insert the verbs. So.
I can do that. No problem.
All right. Was that Ali?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Ali.
Okay. When Tom arrived, Rita had already cleaned the house.
Great job. Great job. So every single sentence will start with when Tom arrived. Whether it's already or yet, we'll start with that same phrase. When Tom arrived, Rita had already or had not yet done something. Great. And why don't we work backwards this time just to change things up a little? So Daniel, will you do our second one with buying groceries?
But I have to use when Tom arrived?
Yep. So you'll say when Tom arrived, Rita had already.
Well, when Tom arrived, Rita had already bought groceries.
Perfect. Very nice. Excellent. And we'll keep going backwards. Leonel, your turn.
When Tom arrived, Rita had already baking a cake.
Good. And baked a cake.
Baked.
Yep, great. Good job. Nasma, our third one.
When Tom arrived, Rita had already cooked a roast.
Excellent. Very nice. Next one, prepare the vegetables. Oscar, your turn.
Okay. When Tom arrived, Rita had already prepared the vegetables.
Very nice. Perfect.
Thank you.
And Rashid, the next one.
When Tom arrived, Rita had already set the table.
Great job. All right. Now Tom has already arrived, so these are things she has not yet done. We will still say when Tom arrived, but instead of saying had already, we'll use a negative construction with yet. So had not cleaned the house yet, or had not yet cleaned the house. Yet can go either in between or it can go at the very end. Both would be correct. So our next one is make a salad, and it is Victor's turn.
When Tom arrived, Rita hadn't made a salad yet.
Very nice. And back to Ali with the next one.
Okay. When Tom arrived, Rita hadn't chosen some romantic music yet.
Good, good. And then there is a vowel change in that one. The vowel doesn't change. It's not a different vowel, but it changes its sound. So chosen. It's still
Chosen.
still written with an O, but it's pronounced differently. So chosen. Great. Oops. And next one, make a fire. They're having a lovely romantic Valentine's Day. Daniel, the next one.
Yes. When Tom arrived, Rita hadn't made a fire yet.
Perfect. Very good. And the next one, Leonel.
When Tom arrived, Rita hadn't light the candle yet.
Good. And this is an irregular one. That would be lit. Lit.
Lit.
Very irregular. And it's even spelled different. The G and H go away, and it's just spelled L-I-T. So very irregular verb there. Nice job. And our last one, serve the meal. Let's see. I believe it's Nasma's turn.
When Tom arrived, Rita hadn't already served the meal.
Great, great. Hadn't yet served the meal. So already is what has been completed, and then yet for things that are not completed. Good, nice job, everyone, on that exercise. Moving right along, our next past perfect exercise is a matching one. So you will match the first part of the sentence on the left with the correct ending on the right. Again, this is going to be tougher for the first person and easiest for the last person. So with that, we'll keep going in the same direction. And Oscar, can you do number 1 for us?
Okay. Mary's plants died because she hadn't watered them.
Perfect. Yep, that's what always happens to me when I have a plant. Very nice. Great job. And number 2, Rashid.
Bob couldn't buy the new computer because he had spent all his money.
Yes, that's the only one that makes sense in that case. Very good. And number 3 goes to Victor.
Sammy couldn't fall asleep last night because she had lost her doll.
Great. Yep, she must sleep with her doll every night.
Exactly.
Oh, wait.
No?
That one. Yeah, I thought it sounds.
a boy, not a girl.
Yeah, although some Samantha sometimes could be called Sam or Sammy as well. But when I look at number 4, I think number 4 might be about the doll. So let's see if there's a better ending for 3.
Like age.
Yeah,
Because
let's
it
assume
might
he's
be
a
a
boy.
Yeah. He had
I
watched
have
a
watched
scary
a scary
movie.
movie.
Yes, perfect. There we go. Good. One of my roommates' name is Samantha, and we always call her Sam. So, great. So then we are back to Ali with number 4.
Number 4 or 5?
I guess we should go to 5. Number 4 is pretty obvious. How about you do number 4 and 5?
Okay, the little girl was crying because she had lost her doll.
Perfect. And number 5?
Okay. I didn't have to buy gro- gro- groceries because I had gone shopping the day before.
Perfect. Very nice. Bonus points for doing 2. Daniel, number 6.
Yes. Kevin failed his exam because that means he hadn't studied at all.
Yes, bad Kevin. Shame on him. Very nice. Leonel, number 7.
Monty bought a new camera because he had lost his old one.
Yep, perfect. Great. And number 8, Nasma.
Clara couldn't pay for lunch because she had left her purse at home.
Perfect. Very good. And number 9 goes to Oscar.
Okay, Susan slept late because she had forgotten to set the alarm.
Yep, very good. I think that's probably happened to all of us. I know that's happened to me. Number
I don't like that because it had to say wake up instead of slept.
Oh, so you think Susan woke up late because she forgot to set her alarm would be more correct?
It's not slept. It's wake up.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say both are grammatically correct, but woke up makes more sense because when you sleep late, it's on purpose. If you're sleeping late, it's because you don't have to work, you don't need an alarm. So I'll agree. I think woke up would be a better verb here. So we'll let the writers of this exercise know that. Very good. Very nice. And then let's see, number 10, I think, is it Rashid's turn?
Yes, I think so. I have the easiest one.
Yes.
I couldn't speak to the boss because he had already left the office.
Very good. Very good. Great. So we do have we have lots more exercises, and that's why this is a 2-part lesson. With 5 minutes, I don't know that we have time to complete. There's only 4. I think we can do it. Let's give it a try anyway. So in part B, it's very similar, but it's negative construction. So, and it's not matching, but pretty similar to one of the other exercises we did. So I didn't meet Ellie for lunch because she had already eaten. My mistake. This one is not a negative in the past perfect. It's just a negative in the first verb. It's using had already. So some may be. The first one looks like it might be a negative construction. So we might get a mixed bag here. Some might be negative and some positive, but let's give it our best shot. And Victor, will you take number 1?
Okay. My trip to New York was very exciting because I had not been there before.
Perfect. Very good. So that was a negative construction. Good. Number 2, Ali.
Okay. I couldn't see the doctor because he already had left the office.
Good, very good. And again, already could go either he already had left, he
Yeah.
had already left,
yeah.
or he had left already. So 3 options for already. Great. Number 3, Daniel.
I couldn't buy the car I wanted because the car dealer had already sold it.
Very nice, very nice. Good job putting in the pronoun it. It was necessary there because of the verb sell. Nice. And number 4, Leonel.
We couldn't see the new exhibit because the museum had already closed.
Perfect. Very, very good. All right. So with that, we do have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more exercises, and that's why this is a 2-part lesson. So we are going to end this Google Hangout, and if you want more, hopefully you'll be joining us in 2 minutes for the next session. If not, very great job, everyone. It seemed like it was pretty easy for you, but I hope it was good practice anyway.
Indeed.
Good,
you.
good. All right, well, I'll
Thank
see
you,
you
teacher.
in a few minutes or in a future class.
Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.